Hello. Well, I thought I would check in uh, and make a brief, quick video. Pause for laughter. Um, mm, let's see, I got sprayed with poison on Friday. So immediately on, well, I already screwed up. But you know me, I don't care about quality control, which is not being disrespectful for you, but it's just my general policy. It's not being disrespectful to you. It's just my general policy that because of I'm still taking benzos and they still have that bad effect on you, and I still have hopes of getting things squared away, even though fate seems to be against me and keep throwing shit my way, like that poison in my face on Friday. I still have hopes of getting off of benzos, so you can see somebody on benzos and see somebody off of benzos. So I still have hopes of that. Anyways, uh, my quality control is I have none. Um, so let's see. I get sprayed on Friday. They sprayed the hell out of everything in here. Um, I called my best friend over, and he come over on Sunday night. I had a that FedEx box that all the FedEx offices are. There's none in my city. There's just drop off places, and this won't box won't fit in a drop off place. You have to take it to a shipping center, and they're all happen to be in his city anyway. So I asked him within the next 3 days if he could help me do that and help me put what do you call it, the bed bug proof encasements on the box springs and the mattress. So he's like, "Yeah, I'll be there in about a half an hour," and I'm like, "Oh well, thanks. I'll get it as ready for you as possible because he's very busy. So he don't like his time being wasted." So he shows up. He shows me a picture of him dancing with his daughter. And you can't tell that they're fast dancing or whatever. And he's real proud of this picture. And then he sets it on a table in my house. I'm like, jeez. It's like on a wood frame and everything. And I'm like, oh man, I almost said the guy's name. I hope you don't get. I hope you didn't get anything on here. That's where I eat my meals, and there's like butter right by there. But he's like, I ain't gonna bother picking it up now. If it's got something on it, it's got something on it. Anyways, he helped me like real quick, and I asked him his advice. And you see, he's like the perfect friend to have in the situation I'm in because um, not only has he been in law enforcement in some capacity for 43 years, but he's also been a landlord for about 40 years. So, I got it from, he understands, in other words, the law, and he understands the law from a landlord's perspective. So, so I take up, I didn't pay him no like lawyer or counselor fee, but he's like, you're not likely to get any money out of Gerald. He's like, as far as you getting sprayed, you're gonna have to go after the exterminator for that. And I'm like, okay. So the next morning, I call up the exterminator, and I'm like, this is name withheld, who got sprayed in the face on Friday with pesticide. Uh, the guy who hired you was name withheld, and I've been sick all weekend, and I need to know exactly what type of poison I got sprayed with. Don't screw around. Call me back. Pretty much verbatim the message that I left. So the guy calls me back. Within, but like I called him like maybe even before the place was open. But he calls me back and he's like, "I'm actually at the hospital right now." He's like, "I'm getting an X-ray." And at first I said, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm the exterminator that was at your house." And his name is Cass something or another. I don't know. I was like, "That's an unusual name, Cass. Is it short for Cassius, like Cassius Clay?" But anyways, he's like, I'm at the hospital. I'm getting my hip X-rayed right now, but I'll call you back like within. I said when? And he's like, within an hour. So it was a little bit over an hour, but he called me back, and I'm like, listen, um, I talked to the police. The police told me that um, there's it's not a criminal act without intent, and that I should take you to civil court. But I don't want to do that. I don't. He's like, no, I don't want that either. And I said, you seem like I'll try to like. I can't remember everything that I said. It was a fairly long conversation, but first I said, this doesn't have to be some kind of hostile conversation. We can work something out. Well, I don't want it to be a hostile conversation either. And I'm like, well, just want you to understand that I'm holding all the cards here. I'm like, I described all my ailments. He didn't know what tachycardia was or cardioversion. He didn't. I said just had a neurological disease. I didn't say CRPS because medical people don't know what that is. I'm like, if I take you to court and say I got sprayed with poison with all those physical problems that I have, you know, I'm like, you don't want that, and I don't really want to do that either. I said because you seem like you're a good guy, and why would you do that? He's like, there'd be no reason. It's an accident. There's no reason for you to do that. And he goes, yeah, there's it's not helping me out any, and I can hear like fear in his voice and stuff. So cause I'm a softy, nice guy, what I had intended was 500 bucks. Just give me 500 bucks, and there's no civil court. Cause the guy I want is Gerald. I don't want you. I don't want Cass. I want Gerald. If it was Gerald, I, I yeah, different story. So I was like, well, what do you think 3 days worth of being sick is worth? And he did the negotiators technique of course, nobody wants to be the guy to come up with the first number or whatever. But I think so. I was like, I don't know, 750 bucks. That put too much of a hurt on you? Yeah. So how much money you make? And he goes, not all that much. You know, he just some working slob, and I don't know him, and he seems like a nice guy. So I mean, working slob, based in the nicest way. Like he's just working for this big company. The company's name, by the way, I guess don't know if I should tell you that or not, but it's a clever name. But this is not advertising for them, anyways. I can't help it. The name's too clever. It's Bed Bugs and Beyond, like Bath and Beyond, but it's called Bed Bugs and Beyond is the name of the company. Um, which is I thought was brilliant. Um, but he's looking at getting fired. He's looking at losing his license. According to my cop friend, he said he'll at least lose his license for that if you take him to civil court. And I told him like I'm not interested in wrecking your life. I'm not interested in any of that. I told him that earlier in the conversation. Um, so we're digressing as I did. We back in the story. I just said, "How about 750 bucks?" And he goes, kind of like chuckled about it, like I said, is that gonna hurt you too much? And he's like, how about 500, which is the number I wanted anyway. So I gave the appropriate pause in there while I was pondering it, and just said, I can live with that. He goes, oh, good, good. And he's like, thank you. And he sounded all grateful. He sounded fearful. He sounded grateful and stuff. He said, but I have to tell you, I don't have it right now. He's like, I don't get paid um, for 10 days, and it's like a direct deposit thing. And, it'll be like 2 weeks before you get the money. And I said, as long as I get paid, I said, we can put a period on this, and we'll just call it a lesson learned for both of us, and it'll be over with. That's as long, he already knows the threat that he's under. There's no reason for me to be repetitive about it. He thanked me again, and then we got off the phone. But, I still don't have my appetite back. But I think it's just because I got so angry at Gerald, and real strong emotion is bad for CRPS. So I'm talking to Chris through the window trying to eat this frozen dinner, which is one of my favorite frozen dinners: Brussels sprouts, carrots, and uh, pesto chicken or something like that. Basil chicken, I don't know what the hell it was. But, anyways, I can't even make it through this meal. Like, I got no appetite. It's past noon here and I haven't eaten. And I'm like, yeah, this is kind of how I get when I get hateful. It's like, it's bad for you. And I've been writing like Gerald every day, uh, texting him, like naming, like making him understand what he's up against. Like I'm not gonna cool off because the guy's such a damned idiot. He wanted to meet me in person, because he didn't understand what went down in that hallway. It's like, dude, you know, you were you were close to getting murdered, man. And I don't mean murdered. I mean like you would have been in the hospital 20 years ago, and I would have been in jail. That's what would have happened 20 years ago. Because that dude, that listen, there's people that understand violence, and there's people with good instincts when it comes to. There's people that are familiar with the street. Okay, I'm not Mister like a Compton from the hood guy or whatever, but I've been on the street enough to know when I'm who I'm dealing with instinctually. Like lots of times I'm like, whoo. There's one time this guy got in my face. I did a wide circle around him because he was like, "Get your ass the fuck down the road before I kick it." And he just had the Clint Eastwood vein throbbing in his head, and I'm like, "Yes, sir. I want no part of that." And but so what I'm trying to say is like there's people that are like have good instincts where it comes to judging like fake anger from false anger, or somebody just blowing up and putting on a big show to make themselves feel better, or like really honestly dangerous people, out of control people like yours truly. And like I've always had good instincts about that. I've always been really good at like figuring out like don't fuck with this guy. This guy is just putting on a show. I've backed people down like that many times. Like the dude in the park over the fish. It's like I looked in that dude's eye and he's like, he looked in my eye and he had good instincts. He was like, fuck this. Or the guy in the drive-through, he's like, fuck this. There's people out there that got in. The Joe guy apparently got no instincts like that because he was like, I was thinking about dropping by and talking to you face to face. I'm like, do you want to have a face? Are you fucking out of your mind? And it's so I've been texting him every day, and I'm like, you tell your friend Cass to honor our agreement if you really are his friend and he's just not cheap labor for your sociopathic ass. To honor his agreement, because I will take him to civil court and I will crush him and I will ruin his life just because of you. Because I'm trying to get through this guy's thick skull that this isn't going away. You know, he put me through like 5 years of hell with the tenants and bullshit that he threw in here. It's like I'm not going to get mad and like forgive him. It's not going to happen. But at the same time, it's affecting my appetite, so it's affecting my health. And yeah, it's making um, your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous systems control things like digestion, taking a shit, which has been difficult lately. Even though I've been very expressive in other ways, uh, it's like no appetite, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But, it just, all that, your autonomic system made up of the para and the sympathetic nervous systems is hooked into your emotions, so I can't be fucking around getting that angry. So when he felt like, when The dude's a sociopath. A sociopath cares about his self, his own feelings, or extensions of himself, like his own family, and he don't give a fuck about nothing else. You know, like he didn't care that a meth cookhouse opened up across from this guy right over here, and the guy had a wife pregnant, big belly, pregnant, like I don't know, ready to go, and two little kids, and that's why he moved. He's just gone. He's not putting his family under that kind of jeopardy. He didn't care about that at all. He told me that. He told me because I said the neighbors around here, they're not too happy with you. And he's like, I don't care. And I said, because he was going to send his dad out here, and I said, the neighbors aren't too happy with you. And he's like, I don't care. You know, and so, and I told him, I'm going to wait outside and make sure they know that that's your dad. That's not you, the owner of the building. And he thanked me for it or whatever. And I told them that because they're waiting. They're waiting to chew somebody's ass out. And they're like, "Just leave this old man alone. That's just his dad." Which his dad might be a worse sociopath than him and might have raised him to be a landlord in that fashion. I don't know. But anyways, trying to pick up any kind of train of thought to this supposedly brief video that is now already 16 minutes long. I can't really be this angry. It affects my health badly, and I can't eat. It affects my appetite where I don't want to eat. So I got like a Meals on Wheels shipment coming tomorrow. I have nowhere to put it. They're frozen dinners. I just get frozen dinners. I mean, I could get other stuff, but I really don't have anywhere to put it. I mean, I don't know how long they keep in the refrigerator or whatever. Or maybe I can eat like five of them. I don't know. I just don't have any appetite to try to make some room. I can maybe put like four. I get like 14 of them, so I can maybe put four in the freezer and 10 in the refrigerator, and then hopefully my appetite will come back and I'll feel like eating. And stomach, shut up. I don't know if you heard that. Like, yeah, stomach's like, yeah, you're talking about me. My stomach, I'm hungry. I just don't have the appetite. Um, but yeah, I mean, like this morning, I wrote him and I said I can give you Sergeant Smith's number. I said you can call him, and I explained to him how unlike you, he took the death threat seriously, and he heard them in person. And I said I got his card, and tomorrow, every day, I'm going to write him a little something, you know, just to remind him this isn't going anywhere. It's not going away, and I'm going to give him the guy's number tomorrow. And I said call him and ask him about the people that were living up there. Ask him, and they already. See, the thing of it is like what it is. I think with slum lords, and I don't know all that much about it, but tenants are not responsible for what for apparently for drug dealing that goes on in their building, or else why would this experienced landlord allow drug dealing to go on in his building? Now, maybe if I had definitive proof that he was turning a blind eye to it, but he would, he could just say, I didn't know anything about it. I'd have to have like recorded messages of me telling him, you know, that there was drug stuff going on. I do have a recorded complaint with the police, but I don't have anything recorded because we would just talk on the phone. I'm not a big tech guy, so I can't even go back on my messages on my phone where it says, we I saw such and such drug deals, or the many complaints that I put in over that, which he could care less about. I don't, I don't want to divulge what I'm going to do on here. You know, I do have a plan of action. I don't want to divulge it on here. That's going to hurt him a little bit. And the only way I can hurt him, uh, besides physically, if I wanted to be like use a weapon or something, Uh, the only way you hurt him is money. So I got a way. I'm devised a way that I can get into his wallet, and he can't do nothing about it because I'm not stupid. And I have plenty of time to think up of these a Machiavellian plan of revenge. Besides just terrorizing him with text listing all the evil that he's done and like all the and explaining that I will have him in court at some point, and you know uh, I don't think I can even file a civil case against him because I don't have enough evidence. I'm not, I'd have to hire a lawyer for all that. You know, um, I don't think I can do that. But what I can do is I can make him evict me, and then I can expose him in eviction court. Well, I think I already said that. When I can do that, and I can also get into his pocket in another way besides the way I won't tell you about, um, by making them get this place up to code, and that's going to cost them I don't know how much, but the thing of it is the guy is so wealthy that it's really, you know, it's not really he'll be fine. I mean, um, like I said, 30 plus properties. He's made $163,000 gross off of this property. And even if you um, take $63,000 off of that for insurance or expenses or whatever, putting a roof on it or whatever, and say he made $100,000 profit since buying this building in 2010, or I don't know what year it was that he bought it, but mm, he's owned it for at least 7 years. So say in 7 years he made 100 grand off of this place. What's 100 grand times 30? I don't know. I'm so stupid. I would have to have a piece of paper to figure that out when it comes to math. And so hurting him financially, it's just silly. But I'm still gonna take some of his money. And and the main thing I want to do is I want to expose him for really aiding and abetting drug trafficking in his buildings. And I'm going to do some research, and I'm going to take my time about it. I'm going to do some research and, see, I don't see, just see what options I have as far as like what he can get away with and what he can't get away with, what responsibility people who rent out properties have as far as the activities in their building. The thing of it is like he didn't put no camera in here, so there's no video of any of this activity. It's just the police knew about it because they got complaints, and I don't have anything that really like would knock a court's socks off. When I strip the cardboard off the wall and take a picture of that 8 foot hole in the wall, that will make an impression, I guarantee you. Um, but I'm really not looking forward to appearing in court doing all that. But things change, and I'm gonna take my time about this, and I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna pay the rent. I can afford to do this 4 months in advance under the pretext that I uh, I'll just say that I have a horribly violent temper, and I think it's just best. I'm going to be here a while. I think it's just best that we avoid each other. Be best for both of our sakes, and I will like give him like say the first. Like I will send him a message on the first and say that this envelope will have such and such monies in it at a certain date, and that it'll be I want receipts for 4 months, you know, in exchange for it, and not to think about that a little bit more. Um, but there's gonna be a reason for that. I don't know if I might have, my memory's not good, so I might have already said why I'm doing that. Um, there's a reason for it. Um, yeah, well, that's about it. I said I wanted to make a short video, so um, with apologies to Betty B, I'm gonna leave this short. Hopefully, my appetite will come back because I don't have a big freezer, and I have to get all these frozen dinners. There's other options they have, but and I could try to give them away. To I think I could give a box to Roy down here, and yeah, my mind was so messed up yesterday. It's like I talked to Chris, yeah, and I don't know what he was actually held for, but then it's kind of confusing talking to him sometimes. I don't know what he was actually held in. I thought it was a misdemeanor possession, but I think it was something else. I don't know. See, yeah, I just haven't been eating, and that's not good for your noodle. Gotta eat some noodles for your noodle. I used to love fucking noodles. I don't get to buy them no more. Damn. But yeah, it's like it's kind of funny. It's like I grew up I grew up poor, so of course I'm talking ramen noodle poor, and of course not quite water in the ketchup bottle poor. Never done that, but ramen noodle poor, which like you incorporate that and you start chopping up onions and stuff to try to make ramen noodles, some kind of meal, to put a little something in it to make it seem like more like a meal. Or you can buy like a spaghetti sauce jar and buy ramen noodles and put a little bit of spaghetti sauce on it and stuff. Like I used to be like a goat, man. I could eat anything. Like one time when I was very poor, all I ate was buckwheat pancakes and homemade, not homemade spaghetti, but spaghetti out of a jar. And then I would like buy green peppers and onions and maybe a little hamburger if I felt frivolous and mix it in and try to make it a little bit more edible. And I'm not talking about good spaghetti sauce either, not no mids or anything like that. Spaghetti sauce in a jar. But that's when I was young. And now that I'm old and finicky, things are different. But so yeah, that's basically the gist of what's you know or how I'm playing this. I still have aches and pains that I can't tell if it's from all the work I did. Maybe I got poisoned worse than I actually thought I got poisoned. Maybe I'm an idiot for letting that guy off the hook that easy. You know, I was told it was a 4% solution the per gallon of a poison called tempered FX, and yeah, but I got so many physical problems I can't tell if it's due to like the anger and rage thing I got going on and hate, or it's due to the CRPS, or it's due to the knee, or it's due to the benzodiazepine. I mean, I don't know. Why would I know? How would I know why I feel sick or why I don't want to eat? I really do think it's just mostly the hate, and then there's yeah, this guy's a sociopath, man. Plain and simple. Like he said, he's like, I really do care about your health. And I was like, yeah, you cared about my health, but you let a crack and meth business flourish here. Boy, feel the love. Anyways, bye bye. Talk at you later.